What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Brenner Video YouTube channel. And today, Inside the Helmet, featuring Chase Billet. Chase,
how's it going?
thank you for having us out, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming.
Number 22, what do we have back here?
So yeah, it's 22 limited late model. 22 is kind of a family number. 22 started actually with my Uncle Carl back in the 80s. Carl Billet, well-known racer in central Pennsylvania. The first car he ever built was number 22. So he bought it, already had the number on it, and they scraped the old driver's name off the roof and they raced it. And then they just stuck with 22 for forever. And then went to my grandfather, and then my dad raced it for 30 years. And then I started racing it once I started racing. 22's been around for a long time in central PA.
What did the other people in your family, what did they race?
Carl raced late models. My dad raced late models his whole life. And then my cousin Steve raced late models. We've just been a late model family from the get-go.
Do you always run a limited late model?
Well, I started out in go-karts when I was about 7. At 14, jumped into a full-size late model. Been racing them ever since. We had one stint last year. We put a super motor together just to have some fun with it. Literally bought a basket case motor from a guy. It was blown up. We fixed it, put it back together. Ran it last year, had some fun with it. Ended up losing that motor last year at Port Royal. So put the limited motor back in, and that's what we're sticking with.
Is it a lot more competitive being in a limited? That's price-wise, I guess.
Price-wise, it is, yes. I mean, we honestly didn't spend much more money in a super than we did a limited. The cars between a limited late model and super late model are identical. It's just different engines. Obviously, if you want to run supers, I mean, you want to be competitive.
Yeah.
I mean, motors, everything. Keeping new tires on every week. I mean, this just fits more of our budget. Limited late models, we can have a little bit more fun, be a lot more successful. You know, I've been racing late models my whole life, and you know, we never really had the opportunity to run super. So I got a good deal on that motor last year, and figured, hey, let's go have some fun and give it a shot. So we had some good runs, and you know, had a little bit of bad luck with it, and then obviously lost that motor. You know, something I was glad I was able to kind of check off the box.
How did you do last season? Did you run anywhere for points?
No, I honestly haven't raced for points since 2021. 21, we won the championship back at BAPS. Won 5 races that year. 22, I only ran about 6 races, and we ended up destroying a race car at Lincoln, and then that was it. I didn't run the rest of 22. Didn't run at all in 23. Finally got this car put together with about 5 races to go at the end of 24. I had a couple years off there, which was well needed. I mean, like I said, I grew up at a racetrack every weekend. You know, my kids are getting older. I have a 11-year-old son, a 5-year-old daughter. You know, my son's in just about every sport imaginable, so he keeps me busy. So it was nice to take some time off, you know, do some things with them, kind of have a normal life, so to speak. You know, this year, you know, we came back with the limiteds full time. Obviously, you know, me chasing some success. So yeah, we're going to stick with limiteds and kind of just race around. I don't really plan on running for points anywhere. Still very active in sports. I actually coach wrestling as well. So I stay busy. Racing every week isn't a possibility, but you know, we're racing as much as we can.
What tracks would you typically run at?
So we've been already this year, we've been to Sealands Grove a couple of times, been to Big Diamond a couple of times at BAPS, and then we're planning on running Port Royal a couple of times this year. Like to get down to Hagerstown, you know, kind of race around a little bit. I have more fun racing around than sticking to one track every week. So I think next week we're going to be at BAPS, then we're going to Big Diamond, and then we're doing a 2-day show up at Port at the end of the month, end of July. Last season, like I said, we running maybe about 10 super late shows. You know, had some good finishes against those guys. Got humbled, you know what I mean, plenty of times against those. I mean, we're running against the super lates. I mean, you're not out driving those guys, and you're not out spending them. I mean, you got to bring your A game. You know, we were still able to have some pretty good solid runs, you know, prove that, you know, we can run with those guys. And we finished off the year, last, I think, 2-3 races, you know, we put the limited motor back in and had, like a second and a couple other top 5s.
What are the plans for this season?
This season, just once again, just race around, have some fun.
Is there any big changes to the car?
We just this week, I just replaced the whole front suspension, trying to do some updates to it. I haven't had a full season in this car yet since we put it together. So we're still trying to work some bugs out, get it, you know what I mean, to where we want it. Bob Weaver's actually in the middle right now of finishing up a new motor for us. The limited motor we've been running, I mean, I built that motor probably 10 years ago. The engine rules for limiteds have changed a lot since then. So, I mean, we can run roller cams now. We can run 3.5-inch stroke cranks. We can run 6-inch rods. You know, all those things add up to a good bit of horsepower. When we hit those bigger tracks like Selinsgrove, Port Royal, Hagerstown, it's noticeable. You know, we're kind of getting a little outmotored there. So, you know what I mean, decided to, you know, put a motor together that's, you know, to now's rules. So we can be a little bit more competitive and hopefully start picking off some wins here soon.
Who helps you take care of the car? Is this all family?
Yeah, it's mostly just me and my dad. I'm out here just about every night working. And then my dad comes up, you know what I mean, helps out a lot. We have a couple guys that help us out at the track, Brad and Gordy. You know, I've been thankful to, you know, to have a lot of good sponsors throughout my career. We have HMT Maintenance and Design, Conewaga Valley Park and Homes, Whitetail Properties, Levi Rental, Spring Valley Mulch and More. And we just picked up a new sponsor this year, Stony Fork Creek Campground up in Wellsboro. Anybody likes to go camping, they're right outside Pennsylvania Grand Canyon. Beautiful campground. And then Colby Fry with Fry Co. and Superfly Shocks. Colby's been great to me my whole career. He's a good friend of mine. I think I was his first ever shock customer when he started building shocks.
Wow.
So kind of stuck with him, and you know, I mean, he's treated me really good, helped me out a lot in my career. So I owe a lot to him. And then Bob Weaver Race Engines. Bob's been with us since my grandfather passed away. You know, when I first started racing, my dad's whole career, you know, he was our engine builder. And then when he passed away, we started going to Bob, and Bob's been great. I mean, he treats us really good. Builds a heck of a motor. I mean, we're never complaining on horsepower. Yeah, have a lot of really good partners in this thing. It takes a village to make one of these things go around, that's for sure.
You were talking about how you're very busy with sports with your son, your daughter. Do either of them have any interest in getting into a race car or racing?
It depends on what day you ask them. My son enjoys, you know, going to the races, you know, enjoys coming out here and help me in the garage. One day you ask him if he wants to race. You know, he says yes, and the other day he's not so sure. It's not one of those things, you know, I mean, I push on him if he wants to race. I mean, my wife knows that he comes and says, hey, this is what I want to do. You know, I mean, we'll get something together the next day. My daughter, on the other hand, I mean, if you're up to me, I already have her in something, but I got to fight that battle with my wife. She's always begging to come out and help in the garage, and she's actually getting on me a little bit here because we haven't won any races this year.
Yeah.
So she's, you know what I mean, as much of a daddy's girl she is, she's also my biggest critic. So she keeps me honest. They enjoy it. They enjoy going to watch me race. Whether or not they want to get some, you know what I mean, get in it themselves, is to be determined. We have fun. You know, like I said, my son's into lacrosse and wrestling. You know, like I said, I coach the wrestling team. So we do that just about year round. I enjoy doing that stuff with him. Avid into hunting and fishing. So you have plenty of other things that we do together, you know, other than racing. You know, one day he decides, you know, to change his mind and he wants to race. I'd gladly retire from racing and just race with him. For now, we're just letting him do his thing.
If you had a chance to drive any other car besides a late model, what would it be?
I'd love to try a sprint car. Obviously, as a late model guy, sprint cars are the enemy. They do look like a lot of fun to drive. Actually, almost been about 10 years ago. Destroyed a car over the winter, you know, deciding, you know, what I wanted to do. I was actually pretty close to buying a Sportsman. Obviously, growing up in Silver Springs, watching my dad and my uncle my whole life, grew up watching Sportsmans too. Kind of wised up, and I'm like, well, I'll stick to what I know. Yeah, I mean, if given the opportunity, I'd love to drive anything. I drove a modified a couple times, an E-Mod. That was a lot of fun. Drove an extreme stock once or twice. Tested a legend car. I'll drive anything with wheels on it. I think I'm better suited in a late model.
And what's the next race you have planned?
We'll be at BAPS next weekend for July 4th. After that, we'll be at, I believe it's Selinsgrove.
Chase, we'd like to really thank you for having us out.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we hope you definitely get some more wins this season.
It's a plan.
We'd like to thank our sponsors, Yorktown Services Company and 2BQ Barbecue Catering. Like, subscribe, comment down below. We'll see you on the next one.
Built for horsepower, filmed full throttle. Brand new